Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to do another Caliber Showdown. It's been a while since I've done one, and I feel like the 257 calibers are a bit neglected. So we're going to compare most of the 257 calibers, and we're going to pick one at the end, which one I think is the best one. So we're going to look at the 250 Savage, the 257 Roberts, the 257 Roberts AI, the 25-06 Remington, and finally the 257 Weatherby Magnum. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's start with the oldest cartridge of the 25 calibers, and fun little trivia, the very first commercial cartridge to ever hit 3,000 feet per second. That is the 250 Savage. And it hit 3,000 feet per second with the 80-ish grain bullet. So in Nosler's book, you say, and it's going almost 3,100 feet per second with an 85 grain bullet. Now, the bullets we're going to use in today's comparison for the Showdown is going to be the 100 grain bullet, and the 250 Savage is shooting it at 2,950 feet per second. It's a very moderate cartridge and not a lot of recoil. I think it's an ideal deer antelope cartridge, but nothing more. But it's got a lot of great history behind it because it is the first commercial cartridge to ever hit 3,000 feet per second. In 1934, the 257 Roberts was introduced. And what is it? Well, it is that famous 7mm Mauser, neck down to 25 caliber. So it has also great heritage. And here's another pretty moderate cartridge that has very little recoil, but has a decent amount of power, definitely for antelope and for deer. Looking at a 100 grain bullet, we are getting velocities a little over 3,100 feet per second. And so it's a really good cartridge. Unfortunately, just like the 250 Savage, it's a little dead. Now, I would say it's a bit more popular than the 250 Savage, but you can't find a lot of rifles in this cartridge, but it's a darn good one. In the 1950s, a person by the name of P.O. Ackley started to make improvements to popular existing cases. So, for example, this is his version of the 257 Roberts. And so what does he do? Well, he straightens out the wall so there's not as much taper as you can see here. It's about straight. And then a very sharp 40-degree shoulder. It's a really cool cartridge, and it does improve velocities, at least with the 257 AI. I think it improves velocities about 100 feet per second. Let's just check with the 100 grain bullet. Now, if you remember, the 257 Roberts was shooting it at a little over 3,100, and this one's shooting at a little over 3,200 feet per second. So it does bump up the velocities by about 100 feet per second. It's just a really cool cartridge. It's not very popular. And I think you're going to have a really hard time finding a commercial rifle in the 257 AI and finding 257 AI ammo. But the nice thing about the 257 AI is you can shoot 257 Roberts ammo in it, and you make 257 AI brass. In the late 60s, I believe it was 1969, Remington introduced the 25-06 Remington. Now, like Remington always does, is they take very popular Wildcat cartridges and then they commercialize them and put their name on it, which is awesome. So the 25-06 Remington, as you can see with the name, you guess it is a 30-06 case, neck down to 25 caliber. And boy, is it a good one. In fact, I would say this is the most popular 25 caliber you can get on the market today. Now let's just look at the performance with a 100 grain bullet. And let's just go to the bottom, and we are mid 3,300 feet per second. So it is moving. Definitely an awesome antelope and deer cartridge, a very flat shooting cartridge. And I know some people have taken elk with it. I personally probably wouldn't, but This cartridge is very capable, and there's a reason that it is the most popular 25 caliber. In 1944, Roy Weatherby introduced a few of his Wildcats, and one of them, one of the originals, is the 257 Weatherby Magnum. And I'm sure a bunch of you already know this, but it's actually Roy Weatherby's favorite cartridge that he introduced. And what is it? Well, it's taking the 300 H&H case, shortening it to fit a standard length action, and, well, it's got the double radius shoulder, and the neck is obviously small enough to fit a 25 caliber bullet. And it produces extremely fast velocities. In fact, the 257 Weatherby Magnum is one of the flattest cartridges you can buy. It's extremely impressive. An 85 grain bullet. Now, if you remember, the awesomeness of the 250 Savage was it was the first cartridge to break 3,000 feet per second, and it was doing it with 85 grain bullet. Was a little over 3,000. Well, this one, it's over 3,800 feet per second. Then the 100 grain bullet that we're going to be using in this comparison with the other 25 calibers, Nosler says you're high 3,500. I know people that have easily gotten 3,600 and some even 37. This thing is an absolute rocket, and again, it's one of the flattest cartridges in the world right now. And again, I think it's an absolute beast for antelope and deer. I know a lot of people have taken elk with this, and it has the energy of a 270 Winchester or a 308 Winchester. I probably wouldn't take this elk hunting like the 25-06, but it certainly can do it. Now, before I pick a winner between the 25 calibers, I thought it'd be fun just to show all of them together, the years they're introduced, the parent cases, the velocities, ammo cost, and how much the rifle cost. So we'll just go through this real fast. You know, the OG 25 caliber is the 250 Savage, introduced in 1915. And as you go down, you can see that all of these are actually pretty darn old cartridges. There aren't really any new commercially available 25 calibers. Now that's probably going to change soon with the 25 Creedmoor coming out. But yeah, these are pretty old cartridges. The parent cases. The 250 Savage apparently is the 30-06. I'm not 100% sure on that one. You guys will have to let me know. 257 Roberts is the legendary 7mm Mauser. Obviously, the 25-06 is the 30-06. And then the 257 Weatherby is the 300 H&H. Here's the stuff that you might be interested in. Velocities with a 100 grain bullet. It is going 2950 in the 250 Savage. 3,100 feet per second in 257 Roberts, 3,200 in a 257 AI, 3,350 in a 25-06 Remington, and then 3,600 feet per second in the 257 Weatherby. Then here's the barrel lengths with those velocities. So as to note, the 257 Weatherby mag, to get those kind of velocities, you do need a longer barrel than the others. So, and I just wanted to take it energy out to 300 yards. Most of these cartridges, actually all of them, are the ideal deer cartridge, and I don't think you should be shooting at game really far with any of these cartridges. So at 300, we've got 1,100 foot-pounds of energy with the 250 Savage. It's not bad. 1,305 with the 257 Roberts. Basically 1,400 foot-pounds with the 257 AI. Mid 1,500 foot-pounds with the 25-06, and then 1,800 foot-pounds with the 257 Weatherby mag. Another one fun one is the recoil. So hardly any recoil in 250 Savage, just a little bit more in the 257 Roberts, and just slowly going up with the AI. And then it does jump a little bit with the 25-06. It does have pretty mild recoil for how big that case is. And then your 257 Weatherby is going to kick like a 270 Winchester. So even that's not too bad. Ammo cost. This is just the average cost. I was surprised to find 250 Savage ammo, and it was around $60. 257 Roberts is a bit more expensive than I ever thought it would be. So maybe it's just shows it's a bit too niche, and it's $74.50. And then there is no 257 AI ammo that I could find, but again, you can shoot 257 Roberts ammo in it. And then, of course, the most popular is going to be the least expensive, the 25-06 at around $50 is your ammo. And no surprise, Weatherby ammo is ridiculously expensive at around $92 a box. Rifle cost. Savage does make the 250 Savage still. I couldn't find the cost for it, but so this is kind of a total guess. So correct me if you can find a rifle that, I don't know, maybe cheaper or even more expensive. And then with the 257 Roberts, there are a few out there that make it, and the cheapest you can get is around $700. To my best of knowledge with the 257 AI, I don't think you can get a commercial gun with it, so it'd have to be a custom gun, which will be expensive. And of course, the 25-06, you can get it in a very cheap Savage rifle, so you could get it around $300. And the 257 Weatherby, surprisingly, it's not too bad. You can get a $600 Weatherby Vanguard in the 257 Weatherby. I just did it. Now is the time for me to pick the winner. So I'm going to just scratch off a few of these cartridges. Sadly, the 250 Savage, I'm scratching it off. It has really cool history, but there's just better versions of the 250 caliber. Now, I'm also going to scratch off the 257 Roberts and the 257 AI. Again, really cool cartridge, awesome history, and I think the 257 AI is a really cool concept, but they're just a little too hard to get. So it really comes down to the 25-06 Remington versus the 257 Weatherby Mag. Now, if this was purely just an economical choice, the pick is obviously the 25-06 Remington. The ammo's a lot cheaper. You're getting almost the same performance. It's pretty close as the 257 Weatherby. It's just a whole lot cheaper. But I just made the choice. I could have bought a 25-06 Remington, but as of last Friday, I bought a 257 Weatherby Mag. Yeah, I'm a bit biased, but I think it's just a darn good cartridge. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know below which 257 you would pick.